Good evening, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, evening headlines on January 5, 2023. 5 signs that your relationship isn't working, according to a therapist. A volatile canvas, Banksy bequest in Ukraine's rubble leaves dilemma for preservers. The Guardian, ringleader of group who attempted to steal Banksy mural in Ukraine could face 12 years in prison. Art newspaper, Banksy mural theft ringleader could face 12 years in jail, Ukraine says. Evening Standard, his explanations sounded childish. Medusa, suspected Banksy mural thief faces prison in Ukraine. Ukraine war, why is Bakhmut so important to Russia and a thorn in the side of Putin? Sky News, Ukraine frontline, the battle for Bakhmut, BBC News. BBC News, Ukraine war, defying Russian onslaught in city at the end of the world. BBC, war in Ukraine, head of Russian Wagner Group says Bakhmut is a fortress. Euronews, Putin's army amplifies Bakhmut onslaught in East Ukraine, 800 Russian soldiers killed. Trump's fresh attacks on Georgia election workers could land him in legal trouble, expert says. House Speaker vote, live, AOC photo goes viral as McCarthy tries to end stalemate on third day of voting. The Independent, Joe, you don't wing it when the whole world is watching. MSNBC, photo of AOC laughing as Matt Gaetz makes impassioned speech goes viral. The Independent, why AOC was talking to Gozar more than a year after anime video debacle. Number of populist world leaders at 20-year low. The Guardian, number of populist leaders around world, falls to 20-year low. Caroline Crouch killed by Greek husband because of his drug smuggling, father claims. The Guardian, major twist in Caroline Crouch case as dad claims she was murdered by husband after making horror drug. The Sun, Greek pilot strangled British wife to cover drug smuggling, says her father. The Times, Greek pilot who killed British wife Caroline Crouch told her father he did it to silence her. Daily Mail, dad of Brit woman murdered by pilot husband shares reason Greek brutally killed her. COVID News, live, new, highly infectious, XBB.1.5 subvariant, a wake-up call for UK. The Independent, WHO really concerned about COVID situation with intense transmission in several parts of the world. Sky News, German health minister voices concern over new COVID variant. Reuters, COVID, new XBB.1.5 variant will drive next wave of virus in UK, experts warn. The Independent, COVID-19 fatalities rise 15% as WHO warns of high transmission of new variant. Belfast Distillery Company secures South Korea whiskey deal. Outcry over footage of men smashing cross at Jerusalem cemetery. The Guardian, Israeli settlers vandalize Christian graves in Jerusalem cemetery. Middle East Eye, Anglican Church and UK condemn desecration of Jerusalem graves. BBC, Christian cemetery vandalized on Mount Zion in Jerusalem. The Times of Israel, Archbishop of Canterbury condemns desecration of Christian graves in Jerusalem cemetery. China COVID, celebrity deaths spark fears over death toll. Evacuations ordered in California as massive storm slams into coast. BBC, 2 killed and more than 170,000 without power after bomb cyclone strikes the U.S. Express, evacuations ordered as California storm knocks out power. Evesham Journal, state of emergency declared as California storm knocks out power and people told to flee. The Mirror, a baby dead in bomb cyclone horrors state of emergency and evacuations declared. Israel plan to curb Supreme Court's powers sparks outcry. BBC, Israel unveils controversial plans to overhaul judicial system. The Guardian, Gantz urges Netanyahu to form joint team to shape judicial reform. The Times of Israel, Israel's new government proposes sweeping powers over judiciary. Financial Times, Israeli government plan to limit judicial powers sharply criticized. Bodies of 8 people including 5 children found at Utah home. Sky News, Utah shooting, 8 relatives including 5 children found dead in home. BBC, Utah shooting, 8 relatives including 5 children found shot dead in home. Evening Standard, Utah shooting, 5 children and 3 adults shot dead in Enoch City home. The Times, 8 found fatally shot in Utah home, including 5 children. Pope praises wise, tender Benedict at solemn burial. BBC, time-lapse shows thousands of people gathering to attend funeral of Pope Benedict XVI. Guardian News, Pope Benedict XVI, around 200,000 attend lying in state. BBC, with Pope Benedict's death, Vatican enters a new era. The Hill, Pope Benedict XVI laid to rest as 50,000 pay respects in St. Peter's Square. House Democrats should unite with moderate Republicans to elect a speaker. The Guardian, what's happening with the U.S. House of Representatives speaker election? BBC News. BBC News, a chaotic day in U.S. House. Frayed tempers, frustration and popcorn. BBC, opinion, Kevin McCarthy is getting schooled in history. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.